Hello, welcome to our own channel, Curious Corners in Biology, where we discuss curiosity of this subject to increase the scientific affinity of the learners towards this subject. And this way we can ease out the conundrums of this subject. So today we will be talking about respiratory physiology. And we are going to discuss an interesting question in the subject of respiratory physiology, that how cyclic breathing techniques have a beneficial effect on the entire physiology of human body. So let us start with it. So what effect does cyclic breathing? One of the examples of cyclic breathing is Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, which is a set of breathing techniques, including pranayams like Ujjayi breathing, which is throat breathing, bellow breathing, and there is a breathing technique which is involving cyclic breathing. Now, usually cyclic breathing is breathing in different rhythms, just as how nature has different seasons. Different seasons would have different diurnal rhythms, rhythms of day and night, rhythms of temperature. In the same way, there is a rhythm of breathing. And if anyone does cyclic breathing, also called as yogic breathing, there are many beneficial effects to the body physiologically. What are these? Let us understand. First of all, such cyclic breathing techniques has a direct influence on cardiovascular function. That is, overall, it improves heart health. How is the question? This is by helping setting the right amount of HRV. What is HRV? Heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is simply variation or difference in the duration of heartbeats. Now, there are two possibilities that a person can have high HRV or low HRV. Now, low HRV simply means that in response to the stimuli from the environment, in response to various environmental signals, the heartbeat is not much variable. That is low HRV. So the response of the body to low HRV is flight or fight reaction, emergency responses, stress responses of our body. And this indicates stress in our body or anxiety in our body. Low HRV will make a person easily exhausted. The person is also less adaptive to various environmental inputs, and it has also been found that the cognition of the person, that means the mental processing of the function, is also low. High HRV indicates the ability of the body to adapt to the environmental inputs or environmental signals, which is defined by rest and digest. The body responds in a more pacified manner, which leads to improved performance, better focus, better adaptability to the environment, and cognition also improves. So, of course, HRV is connected with regulating the function of autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system, we know, is a part of peripheral nervous system, and peripheral nervous system containing autonomic nervous system divides itself into sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system accelerates the responses of our body, and parasympathetic system pacifies them. So this HRV is connected with the autonomic division of our nervous system. So overall, we can say that cyclic breathing techniques would induce physiological well-being, psychological well-being, a feeling of relaxation, and emotional well-being in a person. Then, oxygen consumption and CO2 production was known to increase after cyclic breathing techniques. So this indicates a good respiratory efficiency of the practitioners of cyclic breathing. Then there was increased SpO2, oxygen saturation was also increased. So in less amount of time, more oxygen levels were found in the tissues of our body after inspiration. Another thing which is important to understand is the effect of cyclic breathing on vagus nerve. Vagus nerve is the 10th cranial nerve and it is heavily involved in regulating digestion, respiration, and heart rate. It is intricately connected with the autonomic nervous system. So, cyclic breathing like Sudarshan Kriya Yoga changes heart rate. That means it is improving the heart rate variability. It also improves cognition, that is mental processing, and it also helps patients with Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a neurological condition in which person finds very difficult to execute day-to-day tasks, and it is also connected with improved bowel function. In practitioners of SKY, that is cyclic breathing technique, Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, these breathing techniques were also known to induce effects at the level of visceral efferents. Visceral efferents are the nerves from smooth muscle organs, the organs which are lined by smooth muscles, running towards the spinal cord. So these are visceral efferents. So visceral efferents were regulated in a more pacifying manner. Sensory receptors were also known to be affected, and baroreceptors of our body were also known to be affected, inducing changes which led to better functioning of glands in our body, increased feeling of calmness, relaxation, increased vigilance, and increased attention to different environmental inputs were also known. Okay. Baroreceptors are usually stretch receptors which are found in our blood vessels, and the response is involved in regulation of blood pressure in our body. So if they are positively regulated baroreceptors, then blood pressure in our body can be managed. Okay. And this diagram shows how vagus nerve runs from neck, throat, and goes all the way up to abdomen. Then a quietening or calming effect on cerebral cortex was also known. Cerebral cortex, also called as prefrontal cortex, it has been shown in this diagram. This is a very important part of the brain. It is involved in planning, decision making. It is involved in thinking, voluntary movements of our body, problem solving abilities, social behavior. So if this part of the brain is regulated well, then the response of the individual is quite vigilant and is quite alert. Levels of prolactin and oxytocin were known to increase after SKY. So usually oxytocin is very well-known hormone produced by posterior pituitary, and it is known to increase feelings of affection, social bonding. So in a way, it reduces stress and anxiety. It also is known to have pain relieving effects. Prolactin is known to have neuroprotective effects. That means it is exerting protective effect on neurons. So in a way, it might be preventing its degeneration. Okay. And prolactin is also known to influence mood swings. So it has a beneficial effect, SKY, on both secretion of prolactin as well as oxytocin. Cortisol is a hormone which is indicating stress in our body. So increased level of cortisol points to stress and anxiety in our body. Also ACTH, that is adrenocorticotrophic hormone. So after SKY, cortisol levels were found to be stable and ACTH levels were also found to be getting reduced. So in a way, stress and anxiety gets reduced after SKY practice. There is a special protein which is called as brain derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. This level is also indicative of depression. Okay. And BDNF level, if it increases, then it functions as antidepressant. So BDNF levels in persons who are having inferiority complex or depression would be low, and SKY would increase that. Improvement in sleep quality, and this is a natural treatment for insomnia as well. Insomnia is a sleep disorder, disturbances in sleep, and as we will see further as we go through, um, SKY also improves the stages of REM and NREM sleep, that is rapid eye movement and non-rapid eye movement sleep. Our body goes through various stages of sleep, including NREM and REM. Okay. It is also known to treat cognitive and psychodynamic problems, feelings of left out, alone, deprivation, feelings of abandonment, which are very common these days when a person is in stress or is not able to manage his or her emotions and feelings, then such feelings are quite natural, and SKY is known to reduce such negative feelings. It is also known to reduce alcohol and tobacco dependence. Of course, this is quite relatable. Alcohol and tobacco, in any way, is a vice and is is known to have many detrimental effects in our body, known by everyone. Now, SKY also has a soothing effect on limbic system of our body. Limbic system would include areas like amygdala. Okay, then there are various neurons which, becoming part of this system, are involved in expressing our emotions. Limbic system is connected with expression of emotions and survival functions like reproduction and feeding. So this has a calming effect, and it was also found that lesions in amygdala, which is a part of limbic system, were reduced in sky practitioners. Okay. Also, lower levels of blood lactate were found, better antioxidant status. Blood lactic acid, if the levels are increased, then this points to less oxygen delivery to muscles and tissues. So high levels of lactic acid would promote anaerobiosis in our body, that is less levels of oxygen. So if the blood lactate is low, then there is sufficient oxygen supply to muscles and tissues. Better antioxidant status simply means that the oxidative stress in one's body is reduced. Oxidative stress is connected with production of free radicals and development of various cardiovascular anomalies, cancer, diabetes, chronic kidney and liver problems. As I mentioned, REM sleep latency and slow wave sleep, which is a sort of deep sleep, is promoted by SKY. Okay. And of course, our body cycles through different stages of REM and NREM sleep. There were significant reductions in blood glucose level, total serum cholesterol level. Cholesterol, we very well know, is responsible for clogging of arteries if it is present in excess amounts. Triglycerides, okay, lipid levels overall. There is a marker which is called as malondialdehyde. If the levels of MDA, plasma MDA increases, then this is again an indicative of oxidative stress. And this is also produced, MDA is also produced as a result of lipoperoxidation, which is, of course, a detrimental process to our body. And these reductions of various harmful biomarkers were observed in type 2 diabetes patients. This is the normal form of diabetes in which there is a problem in the pancreatic ability to generate enough amounts of insulin in order to digest sugar. Better results of spirometry tests. Spirometry test will monitor how easily one can inhale and exhale, and the results improved after practicing SKY. SKY also is known to decrease blood pressure, especially the diastolic blood pressure. Diastolic blood pressure is the lower value of blood pressure, and systolic pressure is the higher value of blood pressure. It is also known to decrease serum urea. Increased levels of serum urea will, of course, point to chronic kidney diseases. And of course, it is known to decrease plasma MDA, plasma malon dialdehyde. SKY is also known to improve the ability to see distant objects. Okay, so eyesight in a way improves, and it reduces stress in our body. It is also known to affect cell-mediated immunity of our body. Now, cell-mediated immunity is mainly regulated by cells called as T lymphocytes, and T lymphocytes are divided into T helper lymphocytes, T suppressor lymphocytes. Then there are T killer cells. There are host of different categories of T lymphocytes along with natural killer cells. So these cells constituting the cell-mediated immunity are responsible for putting up a good immune response in our body. So SKY practitioners have known, and they showed increase in the parameters which indicate a well-responding cell-mediated immunity. Better antioxidant status of enzymes and better antioxidant status of RNA was also found in Sky practitioners. What do we mean by that? Better antioxidant status simply means that oxidative stress in the body is less. Okay. If there are certain molecules present in our body indicating oxidative stress, then the antioxidant status is low. Usually the antioxidant status is connected to less aging, less cardiovascular problems, or less neurodegenerative problems. So a better antioxidant status simply means that the body is healthy at enzymatic level as well as at RNA level. Okay. Then SKY is also known to upregulate anti-apoptotic genes. Now, apoptosis simply means programmed cell death, which usually happens during cancer. The cell simply dies. Anti-apoptosis simply means preventing the programmed cell death. So the genes which prevent programmed cell death are called as anti-apoptotic genes. So their levels were known to increase, their expression was known to increase, which is called as upregulation in Sky practitioners. So overall, we can say that Sky practitioners showed improved effects on immunity, aging, cell death, stress regulation, and this is mainly done at genetic level through transcriptional regulation. That is by effecting the process of transcription, which is all about production of RNA in our body. So this is how we understand that how cyclic breathing positively impacts our body in all aspects. Okay. So that much for today. And in the next discussion, we will be discussing more curious questions in respiratory physiology. If you are interested in such content, please subscribe to my channel. And I have written a book, Curious Corners in Biology, which is all about discussing aspects in biology which go unanswered. So that will be um, quite a unique book for anyone or everyone who reads it. Thank you very much. See you. Bye.